What's up with it? You watching a Big Bomber TV. And yeah, we about to check out this video from the YouTube channel Rizzle. And the title is Future Arrested After Feds Drop Disturbing Footage Linked to FBG Casino Case. He funded it all, ? Yeah, man, that's a fool with it, man. And yeah, man, I don't think Future got arrested, man. But with videos like this dropping, man, I'm pretty sure they watching him, though, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, I heard something about some audio leaked or something. And Casino was telling us something, but I think them just allegations. If Future evolved or not, man, he got all eyes on Future right now, man. Sometimes that's just the price of being connected to dudes, man, for real, though. And like I always say, man, don't be around stuff that you ain't into and you ain't doing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, being guilty by association, definitely a thing, man, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I haven't checked out the video. Don't completely know what they talking about, but let's check it out and see what they talking about.
Future's brother, FBG Casino, just got snatched. And at this point, the question that everyone is asking is this: is Future next in line to get arrested? Because let's face it, Future might be way too close to some shit he can't just walk away from.
Now, Rico DeVille Bice, he is the one arrested, as well as David Esteban Montillo Diaz, both arrested and charged with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute.
Future's own brother, FBG Casino. He gets caught in a trap house. Not in a studio, in a trap house.
So why might Future be in trouble? Well, that's all because some disturbing footage dropped, which shows Future popping up around the exact same environment the feds say was used to run the operation. Now hold up, if that footage hits the wrong office, they're gonna start asking whether Future was accidentally pouring money into this whole thing, or if he was standing closer to the fire than anybody realized. And honestly, the way federal agents been talking, it's screaming, we got follow-up questions. So yeah, Casino got cuffed, but Future might be one uncomfortable phone call away from stepping into an interrogation room. And that's the part nobody's ready for. But first, let's explain.
I ain't gonna lie, that's why celebrities definitely have to be careful who they give money to. If they can find some evidence of him giving them money, man, they might try to say Future was funding them for real.
Explain how the whole FBG world damn near collapsed. Between November 14th and 19th, federal agents weren't just poking around, they were moving with purpose. As you know, when Homeland Security, the DEA, and the FBI all show up together, that's not a routine traffic stop. That's months of surveillance turning into action. So picture this: a quiet rental house in Forest Park, Georgia. Nothing flashy, nothing suspicious on the outside. But according to the feds, this Airbnb was the nerve center of something way bigger than anybody on the outside realized. And on November 14th, the task force rolled up like they had the whole script memorized. The second they hit that front yard, everything got loud. Reports say Casino spotted them through the window and instantly hit panic mode. Man tried to slide out the side door like he was still 19, still ducking ops on foot. But this wasn't that. These weren't local patrol cars. These were federal agents who had already read every move he was gonna make. They grabbed him before he even cleared the frame of the door. When they searched him, he had about $4,000 in his pockets, which sounds like a nice stack until you realize what they found inside. As agents swept the house, it flipped instantly from maybe he's hiding something to, oh, this is a full-blown operation. They recovered 21 kilograms of fentanyl, the kind of weight you don't move unless you're deep in the supply chain.
Man.
Next to it, stacks of cash. Over $300,000 rubber banded up in the kitchen and bedroom. To make it messier, they found another $80,000 tucked inside a designer bag that prosecutors say belonged to Casino, and they didn't stop there. Agents pulled out a Glock 19, a money counter, a vacuum sealer, and all the packaging materials you usually see in wholesale-level distribution cases. Once the feds see that combination, cash, weight, tools, firearm, the conversation flips from possession to organization in an instant. But here's the part that shook the hip-hop world. The feds tied this freaking FBG Casino bust to a national crackdown on fentanyl trafficking under a larger federal initiative. That means they believe this wasn't isolated. This was a node in something bigger.
Not just focus on a low-level dealer in a community, but how do we look at the enterprise? What is behind that for the distribution network and the supply network? And
that's the part that made the rumors about Future hit the air like crazy. After the raid, Casino and his co-defendant got pulled into court on November 19th, facing conspiracy charges with a mandatory minimum of 10 years and a max of life in federal prison. At 41 years old, that's basically a finish line he can't outrun. So the feds kicked the door down because they believed they finally had enough to expose whatever network was behind that house. Now, running from local police is one thing, but trying to run from a Homeland Security task force, that tells you exactly what kind of pressure was already building behind the scenes before Casino even heard that door crack open. Now here's where things get even messier. When Homeland Security steps in, it means they've been watching for months, sometimes even years. And that brings us straight to the wild part of this whole situation, the California connection. Casino wasn't just moving locally. He had a co-defendant, 23-year-old David Estevan Montillo Diaz, who came out of Coachella, California. So when product is traveling from West Coast suppliers to East Coast stash houses like the one in Forest Park, that automatically flips the case into federal territory. And if Casino's operation stretched from California to Georgia, shipments moving across state borders, then the feds must see some sort of network, not just one dude. And networks don't just get discovered, they get exposed. Here's the fun part.
I ain't gonna lie, man. He definitely was deep in the game, man, for real. Then they throwing that organized crime on there too. And yeah, if they get labeled as an organized organization, that's a big deal, for real.
The timing of this raid doesn't feel random. You don't walk into a house and magically find 21 kilos and almost $500,000 cash unless someone already told you exactly where to look. Someone had to give them the green light. Maybe somebody who got caught with a smaller amount, perhaps someone close to Diaz on the California side. Whatever the case, federal agents didn't stumble onto this. They were led here. And once the word conspiracy gets added to any indictment, everything changes. Suddenly, it's not about who was holding the product. It's about who financed it, stored it, transported it, who might have unknowingly funded the whole machine. And that's exactly the moment Future's name gets dragged into the shadows of this investigation. He's the first person they would map. Whether the feds believe a case involves a team or not, they start charting every single financial relationship connected to the main players, and Future sits at the top of that family tree. That's the scary part, not because Future is guilty, but because proximity is enough to get your name highlighted in these types of cases. Now, this is the part that really makes you look at the whole situation sideways. While the feds were watching from the shadows, Casino was out here snitching on himself. This man had no problem hopping on IG flexing stacks, flashing cars, posting weapons, and talking heavy in interviews like the cameras were his personal diary. He wasn't moving quiet. He was moving like someone daring the feds to connect the dots. He did interviews saying stuff like, trapping is dead, talking about how the game changed and people were too sloppy, posting everything on social media. The irony here is that he was doing the exact same thing. Showing off cash, showing off straps, moving around like someone who forgot federal agents watch rap culture closer than fans do. One wrong screenshot, one wrong clip, and you basically gift wrap your case for them. But here's where it gets downright crazy. Casino actually appeared in Future's music video, Feds Did a Sweep. And not just as a cameo, he's literally surrounded by money, product visuals, and the exact type of lifestyle imagery the feds now say he was living in real life. So imagine being a prosecutor, sitting there watching a music video where the suspect is standing in a room that looks just like the one you raided. That's not evidence, but it absolutely builds a narrative.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. I done heard them try to use like lyrics and stuff like that, but to use visuals from a music video to make connections, that's different right there, man. Yeah, basically they'll try to use lyrics against people and stuff, but in this case, they might try to use a music video against somebody. That's crazy.
And when your brother is the artist, the feds start connecting dots, whether you intended it or not. Remember, prosecutors don't need the truth. They just need a narrative that sticks long enough to scare someone into talking. And what makes all of this worse? Casino had already claimed he was out the game. Now we see that it was all cap. To make things downright tragic, Casino didn't just move like someone deep in the streets. He moved like someone desperate to pretend he wasn't. As you guys probably know, this man been telling the world for over a decade that he walked away from the trap life. Back in 2013, he dropped that mixtape, Ex-Drug Dealer, pushing the whole narrative that he was done with the streets, focused on music, and ready to level up with Future and FBG. But looking back now, that project aged like a warning sign, not a transformation. After that tape dropped, Casino wasn't operating like a man who left the game. He was operating like someone who couldn't let it go. He did a 2017 interview talking about how trapping is dead, saying the game changed and people were making themselves targets by posting everything online. And the whole time he's saying that, he's doing the exact same thing. Fast forward a few years, and Casino is cruising around in a Rolls Royce, filming himself with heavy artillery in the back seat like it's a casual Tuesday. That video alone had people in the comments begging him to chill, saying it was self-incrimination, saying he was moving way too reckless. Folks were literally predicting the future, warning him that the feds would use these clips against him. Turns out they were right. And here's the part that ties it all back. Even though his brother Future built an empire, he still refused to walk away from the streets. That stubbornness is exactly what puts Future in danger now.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Depending on who you dealing with and how deep you is in the game, man, sometimes you can't quit, especially if you connected to them cartels or something. Like, you just having those connections and knowing those people is dangerous to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, just trying to walk away from a situation like that is dangerous, man. Basically, you just know too much. You know what I mean?
When you're that close to someone that public, someone that wealthy, someone that watched you grow up, the feds automatically assume the connection runs deeper than blood. They start looking at both sides of the family tree, not just one branch. Now here's where everything gets dangerous for Future. Federal investigators don't care about the product half as much as they care about the finances behind it. And if they believe Casino was pouring illegal funds into anything connected to FBG, that becomes a whole different case. Speculation or not, the feds are absolutely looking at this angle. Because if even one dirty dollar touched a legitimate FBG business account, even by accident, they'll argue it's money laundering. And here's the crazy part. Even something as simple as Future paying for Casino's lawyers could be twisted. To fans, it's family. To the feds, it looks like a kingpin taking care of his lieutenant, keeping him quiet, keeping him loyal, keeping the organization intact. That's literally how they flipped the narrative in the YSL case. Young Thug paid legal fees for his people, and prosecutors tried to turn that into evidence of leadership. So imagine how quick they'd try that with Future, one of the biggest artists on the planet, with a global brand, a massive label, and a brother caught with 21 kilos. It doesn't matter if it's true. It only matters how it looks in a courtroom. And the task force used for Casino ain't normal. Their mandate is international criminal orgs. But here's the part that really breaks people. Casino didn't even need the money. This is where the story stops being legal and starts becoming human. Because Casino's downfall wasn't just about the product or the cash. It was about pride. Some people refuse to feel dependent. They don't want to live off anybody else, even when that anybody is their own blood brother worth hundreds of millions. Casino always moved like someone determined to prove he didn't need Future's success to survive. That kind of independence turns into chaos when you mix it with street loyalty. The people you grew up with expect you to stay solid. The streets expect you to keep contributing. The lifestyle you built before fame expects you to keep feeding it. So instead of stepping back and letting Future bring him fully into the legit side of the industry, Casino kept one foot, maybe both, planted in the world he should have left behind. And
I ain't gonna lie, man. That go back to what I said, man. He probably was dealing with some people where he couldn't quit. And yeah, man, that's a big possibility. He was just doing this thing on his own. And yeah, man, it looked like he was thriving in the game for a minute. Really, man, that's how I be in the game. Like, it be all good until you get caught up. You know what I mean?
in 2013. Loyalty becomes a trap when you don't know how to walk away. And that pride is exactly what now threatens Future's entire brand, label, and legacy. Because the feds don't care why Casino stayed in the streets. They don't care about nostalgia or loyalty or identity. They only care that the brother of a world-famous artist was running a wholesale-level operation right under their noses. And the fallout could reshape the whole hip-hop industry. If we take a look at the bigger picture, this case doesn't end with FBG Casino. Over the last few years, the feds have been turning hip-hop labels into targets, treating lyrics like testimony, and turning rap culture into evidence. YSL, GS9, BMF, they all set the stage. And now, with Casino's arrest, FBG might be next on the list. If federal prosecutors decide FBG operated as a criminal enterprise, even in theory, that alone is enough to start pulling Future into the narrative. And once Future's name is in play, this becomes one of the biggest cases in modern rap history. The label is huge, the influence is massive, the money is undeniable, and if the feds can argue that illegal funds flowed into any part of that ecosystem, even indirectly,
Man.
it opens the door for them to question lyrics, videos, business records, travel logs, and everyone affiliated with the label. If FBG gets targeted, every rapper with a crew or collective could be next, and everything now depends on what Casino does next. Why? Well, Casino was just released on bond. The chatter ain't slowing down. Socials are straight up buzzing with people dissecting every move, every post, every flex. And the debates are heating. Is Future really safe? Or did his brother's run-in put him on the radar? Did Casino keep him in the dark? Or was Future ignoring warning signs while staying focused on his own empire? Then there's the big question on everyone's mind. Are the feds quietly stacking a RICO case behind the scenes? Or is this strictly a trafficking situation? Could this be the next YSL-level takedown? A blueprint for how Atlanta's biggest names could get caught up in federal heat. The speculation alone is fueling the streets and online communities alike. In Atlanta, where the line between studio life and street life is paper thin, every move matters, every post, every ride, every brand you flex can be a headline or a piece of evidence. For Casino, every step is being watched, dissected, and debated. And for the fans, the blogs, the critics, it's pure drama waiting to unfold. As the case develops, the questions aren't slowing down, and neither is the buzz. Who talks next? Who keeps quiet? And what's coming around the corner in this high-stakes saga? Stay tuned. This story...
Yeah, man, that's a fool with it, man. If Future evolved or not, man, I'm sure he got attention right now that he definitely don't want, man. And yeah, man, I hope Future ain't gave him no money, man, because they'd definitely try to say he involved with the organization, you know what I mean? And yeah, one time I heard 50 Cent say he don't give dudes money like that, not no street dudes, because they go buy certain things and start flipping, man. They gonna say you involved in the operation and funded it. They trying to tie Future to this situation. We'll know in the future, you know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah, man, I think this is an educational moment though, man, for real though. Yeah, man, you gotta be careful who you deal with, man, for real, because you can be guilty by association, man, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. You watching a Big Bomber TV. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Until next time. All right.